welcome to episode 84 of Kings of Consoles. This is the podcast where we're trying to find the best game for each home video game console by means of giant tournaments. This is episode 84. It is the final episode of round 3 of our Nintendo Entertainment System tournament, where we will see the number 1 overall seed Super Mario Bros. 3 take on number 33 Batman, the video game. I'm Pat Dooley.
And I'm Ricky Giraldo.
And yeah, last week, River City Ransom knocked out Mario 2, which is our second straight episode with a Mario game dropping out. All that remains is Mario 3. Dr. Mario, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, all gone. Mario 3, the last Mario standing. And Batman, the only Batman standing. There was only one Batman game on the list. So we do always start by talking about the underdog, which in this case is number 33 Batman the video game, which is a 1990 platformer developed and published by Sunsoft. It was designed by Kazumoto Mori, SP Tanaka, Yoshiaki Iwata, Noriko Sakai, and Tadashi Kojima, with music composed by Naoki Kodaka. It's loosely based, keyword being loosely, on the 1989 Batman film starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. The Caped Crusader must battle through Gotham City for a climactic showdown with the Joker. Along the way, he faces classic Batman enemies who do not appear in the movie, like Deadshot, KG Beast, Maxi Zeus, Heatwave, Shakedown, Night Slayer, Killer Moth, the Electrocutioner, and Firebug. A sequel, Batman Return of the Joker, was released in 1991, though it had nothing to do with the movie canon since, Joker fell off the bell tower at the end of the movie and died. In the sequel, Joker had stolen a highly toxic metal used to build explosives, and Batman must find his secret hideout before Joker blows stuff up, I guess. We didn't play that one. It is one of 2 Sunsoft games remaining in the tournament. The other is Journey to Silius, which is still hanging in there despite being a very low seed in the tournament. Bear with me one second, I can tell you exactly. It is the number 81 game, and it's still kicking. So, Batman the video game. I feel like for 2 rounds now, Batman has beaten, who did it beat in round 1? Where are my notes? I'm so out of practice. It beat Dragon Warrior 3 in the first round, which I did not agree with personally. And then it beat Astyanax in round 2, which also not a huge fan of. I didn't really like this one, and it's still kicking around. And I don't feel like I like it any better now after a third hour than I did after hours 1 or 2, especially since there's no save or password feature and you start from the beginning every time. And that means that every time I have to go through that stupid level with the stupid jumping things that just hit you at like just such an angle that you can't do anything about it. And so
I hear you, man.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Honestly, it survived a long time, and it's a little frustrating.
33 for starters. 33 is way too high. It's I don't know how it's ahead of, just among games that have already advanced, it's ahead of Rescue Rangers? No. Mega Man 5? No. Journey to Silius? No. Star Tropics? No. Metal Storm? Definitely no. Ninja Turtles 2? No. It's fine for a movie tie-in game of the era. It's better than Fester's Quest. But yeah, compare it to like I said, some of the stuff that it's ahead of. Duck Hunt, it's not better than Duck Hunt. It's not better than, I don't think it's better than Dragon Warriors 3, but that's a whole different thing. Better than Tecmo Super Bowl? I don't think so. But here it is. Like I said, it's fine for a movie tie-in game, because movie tie-in games of the era pretty famously, notoriously just bad.
Right.
And this wasn't bad. It's not one of the 16 best games for the console. So the fact that it made it this far is, I guess, a testament to the staying power of the Dark Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I agree with you. It's definitely, you know what I think it is? I think because the Game Boy version of this game was so much better.
Yes, the Game Boy version is significantly better, much
And I
better.
yeah, so I think that's why it's
Yeah.
people remember it as good, but it wasn't that great.
Well, I mean, we had a kind of a similar thing happen when we talked about Tetris back in round one. It's the Game Boy version of Tetris that everybody loved. The
Right.
NES one was fine, but yeah, it's the Game Boy one that stuck with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's see, what do I have as far as notes here? I think the only note I have other than how far I made it was sigh, here we go again. So if that tells you anything about my feelings on Batman. So unless you have other things you want to talk about with it, you want to just move right on to the number one game for the console according to IGN and
Yeah, for sure.
kind of the critical consensus for NES games. Super Mario Brothers 3 is a 1990 platformer. It came out the same year. Keep that in mind, folks. These came out at the same time. A 1990 platformer developed and published by Nintendo, directed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka. Both are credited as designers, along with Katsuya Eguchi, Hideki Kono, and Kensuke Tanabe. Miyamoto is also credited as a producer, and Tezuka as an artist, alongside Kano, Hiroyuki Kimura, and Yoichi Kotabe. And of course, the score is composed by Koji Kondo. Bowser has sent his 7 children, Lemmy, Wendy, Morton, Larry, Iggy, Ludwig, and Roy, into the Mushroom World, not Mushroom Kingdom in this one, it's the Mushroom World, to transform each of its 7 kings into animals and steal their magic wands. Princess Toadstool reaches out to Mario and Luigi to track down the wands, defeat the Koopalings, and restore the king's humanity. With 18 million units sold, it's the 3rd highest selling NES game of all time, behind only Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, and is the highest grosser remaining in the tournament. And it is one of 4 Nintendo games remaining in the tournament, along with Kirby's Adventure, Star Tropics, and The Legend of Zelda. It would have been 5, but Super Mario Bros. 2 lost last week. So, the big question, does Super Mario Bros. 3 still hold up after 3 hours of gameplay?
Yeah, definitely does.
Yeah, it holds up after 32 years of gameplay. It is just it's
awesome.
It's about really as perfect as a console game of the era gets. It's really excellent. It's challenging without being frustrating. It's fun without being too like handholdy, in terms of like, here's a really easy thing for you to do. Aren't you having fun? This is like, the fun is in the challenge, and you want to keep like replaying stuff you lost at so that you can get better. And just the level designs are great. The character designs are great. Yeah, it's basically like the culmination of all the great platforming stuff Nintendo was doing at the time. Mario 3 was kind of like the pinnacle of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. It's the Mario game. Listen, there's a reason why this game is the number one game. Like,
yeah,
it's just a lot of fun, and it's where I think Mario, like, I know Mario 1 started it.
Yeah.
And it gave us the basis of it all, but it definitely, I don't know, this is the one that truly made it feel like a Mario game.
Yeah. Because then, this is kind of the formula that almost all of the remaining side-scrolling Marios took. Because Super Mario World is very much, the first Super Nintendo game is very much in the vein of Mario 3 in terms of like, the overworld map, the themed levels, and then all of the, obviously the new Super Mario Brothers, starting with the Wii version all the way up to, the most recent ones on Switch. They're all very Mario 3 inspired, just with, updated graphics, new levels, new power-ups. But yeah, they all play much more like Mario 3 than they do the first 2.
For sure.
Yeah, it's I feel like there was a lot of discussion in last week's episode because there was a lot to talk about, but in this one, it's just like Batman is like, oh, it's hard, it's frustrating, it's not at all like the movie, the Game Boy game's better. But this one is like, oh, it's perfect. Like, what is there to like? I guess you could nitpick some of the levels aren't as fun as some of the others. But then then you go to like is it World 5 where everything is giant, and it's like, oh, I've never seen this before in a game of this era. That's fun. Like, it's either Mario shrunk or everything got big, but it's different. It's cool. It's not just your regular water or fire or desert or whatever level that you get over and over and over again in platformers of the era.
True. Very true.
It's excellent. It's deserving of all of the praise that it got. It won basically every award that's available on every virtual console. It comes pre-installed on the NES Classic. Is remade for Super Nintendo for the Super Mario All-Stars release. It's it is also the most money ever paid for a video game. I think we talked about this when it happened back in 2020. But a sealed copy of Mario 3 with rare alternate cover art was sold at auction for $156,000. The most money ever paid for a video game.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's an iconic game. Let's see. Interesting, has had, according to Famitsu magazine in 1993, awarded Super Mario Brothers 3 a world record for having the most strategy guidebooks published. I'm sure that's been updated since then, but in 1993, 20 strategy guides had been released for Mario 3.
My God.
Of course, now there's the internet, and almost nobody's making strategy guides anymore. But man, back in the day, like those Prima guides that would come out for every wrestling game, I was all about the Prima guides. I had like starting with WCW versus NWO World Tour up through like the first wave of PlayStation games. I had all of those guides. I love strategy guides, but now we have the internet. We have YouTube, and we have GameFAQs, and strategy guide's kind of a lost art.
It really is. There's like no, I mean, yeah, you're right. I used to use GameFAQs all the time, but
YouTube has kind of surpassed it.
Yep. Now I just go to videos like, yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah. Show me how to do it. And they do, and then I do, if I can. Because we've talked about the in last week's episode about getting royally stuck at bosses on Resident Evil if you don't have enough ammo. And they're like, all you got to do is this. It's like, cool, I don't have that. Not a problem in Mario 3, unless you have like the P-Wing or the Tanuki suit, in which case you can kind of bypass a lot of stuff in Mario 3. Otherwise, you're down at ground level, and it's just a matter of kind of pattern recognition. The winner of this matchup, which kind of a foregone conclusion, but we'll still officially announce it at some point. The winner will face the number 81 seed, the lowest seed remaining, Journey to Silius, in the round of 16, or in round 4. So it might be Sunsoft versus Sunsoft if Batman wins this, because it would then face Journey to Silius, the 2 remaining Sunsoft games, going 1-on-1. But before we get to that, let's find out who made it farther. Who made it farther? Who made it farther? Since last week's episode, I did find my notebook where I've been keeping track of how far we've made it. I have made it farther in 76 of the games that we've played. Ricky has made it farther in 74. So you might get a chance, and then there have been several ties. Oh, actually, you know what? I should have given you 2 points for having beaten River City Ransom again.
Give me
Week.
those points, man. Give me those points.
Yep. There you go. So yeah, so now you're only 1 point behind me, 76-75. You can pass me, or I can extend my lead. I suspect we're about to tie because Batman the video game, I made it to level 3-3. The level with the jumpy guys, and I got stuck and got mad and threw things.
Oh no.
I don't think I actually threw things, but I did get stuck and mad.
Trying to figure out where I left. Sorry, I'm unprepared.
It's all right. It's been a while. We're out of practice.
Right? It's been too long, survived some things.
Yeah. Been through it.
Where I think I was flying Firefly, but it could be wrong, and that wasn't Firefly. There was just a lot of dudes in the sewer. Here's another thing about Batman that I want to talk about. Why is it in a sewer?
I don't know. Tim Burton's Gotham City is so interesting looking. So why is it all like crappy industrial factories and sewers and just like gross, dingy gray and purple blah levels? It should be so
What'd
pretty.
You say it was 3-3?
3-3, yeah.
Yeah. I made it. No, I think you beat me. I think I'm at 3-1.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't even make it to the jumpy guys.
No, I actually, and I went farther the first time we played it.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, this time I didn't make it that far.
Wow. Well, hey, I'll take it.
I'll be honest, this was probably the time I was sick. So
yeah, sure. Blame it on COVID. Fine. Fine.
No, but I'll give you it. You got it. You got it. Be proud. Be happy that you beat someone who was sick. No, I'm kidding.
Should we run it back how you did back in August? When I
yeah.
Although the fact that you were feeling well enough to play games is a testament to the strength of the vaccines.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, yeah, but also I think this is the beginning of it. So didn't crash. Yeah.
Fair. Okay, so unless you beat Mario 3 in an hour, which would be very impressive, which would tie you, I will maintain my lead for another week. How far did you make it in Mario 3?
World 7.
World 7. Yep, you did beat me. I ran out of time in World 5. So yeah, you beat me by a fair margin there.
Dude, this is the key, guys. If you're trying to beat Mario an hour, you just have to book it. Just run. Don't get the stars. Don't get whatever extra you want to get. Just run.
Yeah. Don't stop to try to. Don't stop at the power up house. Yeah,
or
that
like
was my
stop
mistake.
there. Yeah, stop there maybe once or twice, not every time.
Yeah,
like that's what you got to do. That's a little trick.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and honestly, you know how I got good at these? Not good, but I got faster because I was playing the Mario Maker.
Yeah, the community
those games,
creations for
those games. They honestly get you get better at them because those levels are insane.
Levels are insane. I love watching people play those, and I will probably never play Elden Ring because I don't have the patience for games that are that hard. Like the Soulsborns just in general don't do much for me as a player, but I love watching other people play them just because I love to see how insane games can get. And Mario Maker levels are a great example of that. I love to see just the bonkers stuff that people come up with, and you can't post them unless they're beatable. So like you have to show the game that you can beat it before it will let you upload it to the community. And so you see some of these levels like, wait, this is possible? How is this possible? And then you watch somebody do it perfectly and you're like, oh, I could never do that.
Right? It's like, oh, damn.
Yeah. So I guess we might as well make it official. Yeah. The winner and the final game to reach the round of 16 is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Super Mario Brothers 3. No question. Batman
Nope.
honestly was eliminated as soon as it was in the bracket. And yes, it should have been eliminated before. But
Yeah.
the audience decided.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah.
The audience decided.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, so Mario Brothers 3, we will see again in a couple weeks. We don't have the full schedule yet, but we do know that in the next round, we will see Bubble Bobble against Rescue Rangers. We will see Mega Man 2 against Mega Man 5. We will see Super Mario Brothers 3 against Journey to Silius, Star Tropics against Metal Storm, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, Final Fantasy against Kirby's Adventure, The Legend of Zelda against River City Ransom, and Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse against Contra. Those are those 16 are the remaining games in the tournament. We started with 100. We are down to 16. And yeah, there's 4 games left from Nintendo. There's 3 left from Konami, 3 left from Capcom, 1 left from Sunsoft, American Technos, IREM, Square, Taito, and Ultra Games. It is kind of a wide open field, but not surprisingly, Nintendo is kind of leading the way. But we will kick off round 4 next week, provided everything goes according to plan, when the number 23 seed Bubble Bobble takes on number 71 Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which again, way too low.
That's a hell of a match.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a match. Yeah.
Start things off with a banger.
Ryan
O, who composed our unofficial third co-host, the composer of our Who Made It Farther theme, and a frequent contributor to the question of the week. Which NES game did you rent or borrow the most?
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I didn't have an NES, so I actually borrowed the NES a lot.
That makes sense.
The game I would play was WrestleMania. I always do
there's
this.
WrestleMania and WrestleMania Challenge.
WrestleMania Challenge
for NES.
The one
I think
that
there was
had
also
Ultimate
a King of the
Warrior
Ring
in it.
Yes, yeah, that one had because the first one, the regular WrestleMania only had like 6 people. It's like Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, Challenge. Savage, Andre. WrestleMania Challenge had like Warrior, and I think maybe Dusty Rhodes was in that one.
Yeah, Macho Man, Boss Man. Here, I have the roster right here.
Oh, perfect.
It was yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Andre the Giant, Brutus Beefcake, Hulk Hogan, Rick Rude, Boss Man, Jim Duggan, Macho Man, and Ultimate Warrior.
That's right.
That's a hell of a roster.
That's a really strong roster.
Yeah.
That's a good snapshot of early 90s WWF.
Man, that's crazy that Rick Rude was up there. I mean, he was a good IC champion.
He was Intercontinental champion. He was the first person to ever beat the Warrior. He was pushed well for a while and then wasn't, and went to WCW and won the world title, and then was on both shows at the same time. In 1998 that he was on Raw and Nitro in the same segment because WWF wasn't smart enough to get him under contract.
And didn't record, and they recorded,
and they pre-recorded their show. So yeah, he was part of.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Was he a part of DX?
He was part of DX. He was DX's bodyguard. And then on the other channel, on USA, he was DX's bodyguard, and over on TNT, he was a member of the New World Order, which just insane. Not a thing you'll see again because Vince got wise and created the 90-day non-compete, which I'm not sure how that works for independent contractors, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole different podcast.
Which you can check out.
Which you can check out Sunday mornings at twitch.tv/Pro Wrestling Simulated, where Mike San Gregorio and I talk all things wrestling and also do our own tournament on Fire Pro Wrestling World, where we have the PWI 500 as a wrestling tournament. We're getting close to the end of our round one, which is impressive considering there are 500 wrestlers in it. We're down to 16 here, as opposed to the 274 that I think we still have left in in Pro Wrestling Simulated. So next week, Bubble Bobble, Chippendale. Oh, I don't think I answered the question.
Yeah, I don't think you answered your question yet. So mine was WrestleMania Challenge. What is yours, Pat?
I am honestly not sure. My hunch is
I was going to say, what did you rent the most if you didn't borrow a lot?
Yeah, I suspect it was either the original Mega Man or Contra.
Oh.
Those are probably the two games I played the most but never owned. So theoretically, those must have been two that we rented a lot. I can't really, because most of the ones that I like have real strong memories of playing as a kid were games that we owned, Mario Brothers and, obviously, Tecmo that I'm still salty about. But even like, stuff like Lolo and stuff like that, like we owned that. Punch Out, Kung Fu, Iron Sword. We owned Mega Man 2. We owned all of those. Rented Maniac Mansion a lot. I'm just kind of going through the list of games that we've already played. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's probably what. Oh, RC Pro-Am we rented a lot too. That was a good one. Also,
I feel like. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was to say also, Lost Gem, Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball. We rented a lot, and now that game is insanely expensive. If you look for it online, it's one of those that's like $150 or for like a loose cartridge because they didn't make many. So it was not very popular. But then it kind of like River City Ransom got a cult following. People were like, oh, hey, this is actually pretty good, but they only made however many thousands of copies. So so I guess that's that. It's one of however many games I just listed. One of those is the one I rented the most. But we'll be back next week. Bubble Bobble, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. You can see the full bracket at challenge.com/Kings of Consoles. You can contribute to the show financially at ko-fi.com/Kings of Consoles if you want to just buy us a cup of coffee. You can email us, kingsofconsolespod@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/Kings of Consoles, at Kings of Consoles. I'm at Loopy Date.
And I'm at Ricky GN7.
And I mentioned Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern over at twitch.tv/Pro Wrestling Simulated. And of course, this show you can rate, review, subscribe, whatever podcasting platform you like. Also, we're on YouTube. Just our logo with the audio gets uploaded to YouTube every week as well. If you prefer getting your podcasts from YouTube, you big weirdo. Other than that, we will see you next week as round 4 kicks off. Until then, as we tell you each and every week, play old games.
Play old games, everyone.
Kings of Consoles is recorded in Nashville and Orlando and is produced and edited by me, Pat Dooley. Thanks to Catholic Portal for our theme song, intro for a non-existent video game, which can be found at freemusicarchive.org. And the music and sound effects from this week's games can be found with a quick Google search. The opinions expressed in this and every episode are our own, and we are in no way sponsored by or affiliated with Nintendo. We're just big fans.